Welcome to SVG-TV's News and Sports for February 28th. I'm Khalil Kato with the details. As part of the implementation of the Juvenile Justice Reform Project here, the OECS has contracted the services of Felicia Robinson as consultant to develop a national strategy towards the reform of the juvenile justice system. The objective of the consultancy is to provide support to SVG in the preparation of an integrated national strategy on juvenile justice reform in support of relevant existing national policies and strategies. The scope of the work in the consultancy includes identification of emerging issues and trends in juvenile justice and youth in conflict with the law in the OECS member states. It also seeks to evaluate the impact of existing legislation, policies and practices and the development of recommendations that will guide the state when considering the necessary reform to laws, policies and programs. The Juvenile Justice Reform Project seeks to address issues relating to citizen safety and security and to support reform of the justice sector through various measures, including the development of national and sub-regional juvenile justice strategies. Changing mindsets has been identified as the greatest challenge facing the information communication ICT sector in the region. This was stated by Secretary General of the Caribbean Telecommunications Union, Bernadette Lewis, while addressing participants at the start of the two-day Caribbean ICT-led innovation workshop at the Buckingham Bay Resort. Lewis says getting people to believe in their ideas and to be confident that the ideas are worthy usually pose serious challenges.
3 M's do: the man, the mind, and management. And we all have talents, we have natural ability that we need to explore. I know that in times past we were not allowed to be creative. Our creativity may have been just smothered, right? But there are no such barriers now. So understand we live in a different age, and all those barriers that may have told us you're not good enough, you can't do it, you all can't figure it out.
However, Lewis told the workshop participants that having an idea is only part of the process, and they must also work on bringing the ideas to life with proper management.
Apply yourself with diligence and with discipline. Work hard. Work hard. Hard work never killed anyone. Collaborate. Sometimes you may have a great idea, but guess what? If you told trusted cooperators, they can add to that idea to perfect it, to make it even better. Mrs. Marcel, she pointed out the need for collaboration. Collaboration is important. And finally, don't be afraid to deviate from the beaten track. All right? There are lots and lots of people going down a particular way. It may work for them, but it may not work for you. It may not work for us.
The Ministry of Education is looking to introduce a new career guidance and education program in all primary schools throughout St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The program is to assist students in making informed career decisions, and as part of the preparation, a series of one-day training sessions has been organized for teachers identified as point persons. The first training session took place on Wednesday at the conference room of the Curriculum Development Unit. Educator, counselor, and facilitator of the program, Alan Burnett, urged teachers to ensure that their students realize that there is no one profession.
We need to ask ourselves, why is it so urgent? Why would having students understand their career choices, why would that be important? Why is it important for us to have career education in school? Why is that important to St. Vincent and the Grenadines? We have less redundancy. If we teach students, if we let students become aware of what is out there, then we'll have less redundancy. That is, that we do not have too many persons going off to become lawyers. Too many persons going on to become doctors. Then it becomes saturated. There is no one perfect career.
The constituency of West St. George will soon see the establishment of a cooperative. This was announced by Parliamentary Representative Cecil Sesmaki during his address at the start of a 6-week garment manufacturing workshop hosted by the Adult and Continuing Education Program in the Ministry of Education at the Doris Mackey Learning Resource Center. Mackey says they are close to registering the cooperative that would encompass not only persons involved in sewing, but also agriculture and small businesses in the area.
The umbrella cooperative and sewing will be part of that operation. So not only would you be able to do your own sewing at home, but you will be able to do sewing where you can earn $1 on your own, and you will be part of the cooperative that will be producing school uniforms. As I indicated, we have 5 primary schools, 1 secondary school in the constituency. There is no reason why in very short time, as a matter of fact, we are looking at this year, why we cannot start providing these uniforms for these schools in the area. So we have an excellent opportunity to move this process forward.
Adventist pastor says the Caribbean is close to becoming a hostile environment in the display of religious beliefs. We have more stories on the local scene when the SVG-TV Evening News continues. Welcome back to the Evening News. The Caribbean is said to be close to becoming a hostile environment in the display of religious beliefs. That's the view of a prominent Seventh-day Adventist pastor in the Caribbean, Dr. Clive Doughton. According to the Trinidadian, some persons in the Caribbean are not respectful of each other's convictions and are solely mimicking the hostility exhibited by international countries.
It's a good example of a miracle. A doctor who was performing abortions was shot and killed by the religious right. Now we have to be very careful here that we don't get savage and hostile. I think religion, even conservative religion like my church, must be free to express their views, but there must be absolutely no room and no space for hatred or lack of forgiveness.
Mr. Doughton also highlighted that in many instances religion has gotten involved in the acquiring of political turf, and most world-based disagreements are now filled with religious flavors. But Doughton believes that while the wider world is wreaking its havoc, the Caribbean can pull through.
You know, we had an experience in Trinidad in 1990 with the Muslimin, and that sent, to my mind, it sent shockwaves across the region and perhaps across the West when there was the attempt by Abu Bakr to take over the country. But I think there's enough balance. I think what we have to do is to keep pushing for respect for people's convictions, building bridges, establishing relationships.
The 50-plus Vincentian students currently studying in Venezuela are said to be safe, despite ongoing violent protests. At a media conference earlier this week, Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves said the students are being urged not to take part in these protests.
Vincentian students in Venezuela, scattered across institutions in 12 states. The embassy has been in touch with all of these institutions, and the embassy has spoken to the student contact in each case. The students were advised to stay away from any protests, whether for or against the government. There are students in 4 of the states most affected by the disturbances.
Venezuelans are reportedly unhappy with the ravaged economy and rising crime. Venezuela's President Nicolas Maduro said the number of deaths, which can be connected to the 2 weeks of anti-government protests, have risen above 50. A retired security officer here, described as a pioneer in the field, celebrated his 80th birthday in grand style yesterday, where he officially announced his retirement from security services. On hand to celebrate with Valentine Cato at his home in Prospect were family, friends, and colleagues in the security field. For many years, Cato offered his services to the RBTT, the E.T. Joshua Airport, and also served as a member on the National Security Advisory Council.
And I thank everyone who are here this afternoon. Those for other reasons cannot make it this afternoon at the public functions. I've served my government, I've did my job, and I've bowed out with grace now. I thank you all.
Meanwhile, persons present at the birthday celebration used the opportunity to extend the best wishes to the retiree.
I would like to wish Mr. Cato a happy 80th birthday. And this is a significant milestone because, especially when one can celebrate their birthday in excellent health, we have to be very grateful for that. Mr. Cato has been a pioneer in St. Vincent and the Grenadines in the field of private security, and the country on a whole would have benefited from his contributions over the years, and as a result of that, St. Vincent is, I want to believe, is a better place because of the role that he would have played in terms of assisting the police and the field of security on a whole.
It's not the calendar years, but what you have done with your years. We just had a mouthful from Mr. Nanton and yourself as regards your role that you played in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Well, I go back even not only as security, but you have been in the culture. Steel band, because it was your band along with syncopators in this country that put music into pan. So you're a first.